Hi everyone, it's Nick. Welcome back to my channel. Okay, in this video today, we are going to be talking about the best and worst products on Wayfair. Buy this, but not that. Listen, I have a love-hate relationship with Wayfair. It serves a purpose, and it's got something for everybody. Do you know what I mean? And I mean everybody, because there are some people with questionable taste that are buying this stuff on Wayfair, and we're gonna be talking about it in this video. But I'm gonna be linking to the products down below that I think are super cute. We're gonna be talking about some cute ones from Wayfair. And also, I'm not gonna be linking to the stuff that's not so great, because I don't need to add negativity into the world, because that's just not in my nature. So we're not gonna bring those products and unleash them for you. You know what I mean? They're gonna stay on Wayfair where they belong and not in your home. And yes, I recognize the irony in talking about negativity while I make a video like this, but whatever. It's the Nick Lewis channel, okay? I'm a walking contradiction. Let's get going. Okay, but before I get to those good and not so good picks from Wayfair, I wanna take a minute and thank today's sponsor, which is Narwal. So as a person who talks about interior design and homes for a living, I try my best to keep a clean house. I'm not always great at it, but that's where Narwal comes in because they basically do all the work for me. So I have their new Narwal Flow 2, which is a beautifully sleek, updated design that blends right into the space rather than really distracting from it. So obviously looks aren't everything, it has to actually work, and the cleaning power here is genuinely amazing. Really, I don't have the time for it to vacuum 3 times, and the Narwal basically does the work for you, and they do a one-time pass where it gets rid of dirt and spills on the first try using the real-time self-cleaning track mop. Instead of traditional round pads that just end up dragging dirty water across your room after like 5 minutes, this uses a continuous track, almost like a conveyor belt. As it rolls, it is constantly washing and scraping itself clean on the inside. This means that the part of the mop that is actually touching the floor is always fresh, so you never get that gross muddy smear. It just completely wipes out the mess in one single pass. The before and afters really speak for themselves. What also sets the new Flow 2 apart is what Narwal is calling their Narmind, which is sort of their AI technology that they use to basically scan its surroundings, and if they recognize something valuable, it won't suck it up, which is a good thing, and instead will send a notification to your phone if it finds something. And it also tells you exactly where it is, which of course is a lifesaver. It also works great if you have a busy house. So if you have kids or you have pets, they have a pet mode and a baby care mode. So it knows to recognize your furry friends and also kids and sort of adjusts its suction and path so it doesn't disturb them around nap time, which is really great. So Narwal is a longtime sponsor here on the channel, and they make keeping a clean house so much easier. So if you want to check it out, check out the Narwal 2. You can click on the link in the description. Thank you, Narwal, for sponsoring this video. Now let's get back to those buy this, not that from Wayfair. Okay, first on my list, something that's super cute that you might want to consider is this really beautiful table lamp. This is in like a travertine and black with a nice, it's got a little bit of a mushroom shape, but I do really like this one. Now this is a perhaps knockoff of some other travertine lamps that are out there that exist. In fact, if you know my fiance, if you recognize when I film videos over in Amsterdam, you might notice that I have a lamp in the background that looks very similar to this one. I believe that this is a little bit of a knockoff, which Wayfair is not above, but that's okay. Depends on how you look at it. This one is like $200. That one, I promise you, is a lot more than $188. Listen, it's cute. It's travertine. It's nice. I think for Wayfair, it definitely serves the purpose. If you're looking for a travertine and black sort of metal shade lamp, it's very chic, it's very cool. This is a good one. Yes, there's other designer ones that are out there. Perhaps those ones have better construction, but I would say overall for the value, it says the material choice is stone. I'm gonna assume that's travertine, which is generally travertine and limestone are on the more inexpensive side of the stone world, just in case you didn't know that. So I would probably say that this is pretty solidly travertine. This looks cute. I think it's a nice one. You know, it's a bit of a dupe for other ones, so if you're very anti-dupe, then this one's not for you. But if you don't mind partaking for a good deal, then this one could be a good option. Okay, and then not that, I'm gonna have to say is this sort of treble clef looking thing. I don't love, personally. Well, first of all, we need to talk about exposed bulbs because they're generally, and you'll see another one of those coming up later in the video. Exposed bulbs are really tricky, and by that I mean not flattering and ugly. They don't always really look great. Now, I have had exposed bulbs in the past, and you know, there is a place for them, and sometimes there's some really cute designs that might have an exposed bulb. But generally speaking, I have learned in my time now that I think overall a shade that diffuses the light is gonna be a lot more flattering and interesting. I also really don't love these LED light strips, which is what this lamp is, when it's so exposed. This type of application, this type of LED strip is really good for like under flooring lighting, under cabinet lighting, perhaps underneath your uppers in your kitchen. That can be cute. Could be maybe like, yeah, those are like the two things. Maybe like a valence, you know, like underneath, if you got one of those like up above your window or something, that's cute. Like there's lots of good ways, but they should be hidden. You shouldn't be able to see the tracks, okay? It's like hair extensions. You shouldn't be able to see. But this thing here, this ain't working for me because it's super exposed and super bright, not diffused, and just going to be really unflattering. I love a table lamp. Please see the other option, which is actually really cute, but not like this. This isn't the way to go. This is too glammy and I don't care for it. Okay, next up on this list is going to be this linen duvet cover set. And I'm gonna be honest with you guys, okay? So this is like $146, but I'm gonna spare you because I actually don't really need to spend a whole lot of time in this. I just needed this so that I can talk about the not that's coming because it's truly hideous and it needed to make this list. It's a linen, what do you want from me? It's a linen, it's a linen sheet set, okay? There's great ones out there. I love Brecklyn. I've been using them forever. I tried Bowl and Branch one, those are great too. Like there's lots of, Parachute I think is good. I've never tried them, but like there's lots of cute ones out there, okay? They're good. They're a linen set. Let's move on to the not that because it's truly hideous. Okay, next up, the not that. See, I needed to get through that quickly so we had time to talk about this one. Okay, this is a microfiber pig with a wine. And this is so bad, it's almost come full circle and become good again. And that's what I love about it. It's a pig with a glass of white wine, and that's it. And I think it says Grigio at the bottom. Pinot Grigio is my guess. Pigot Grigio. Shut up, I just got that. Okay, that was me. And even the font was off the photo, and I still just picked that up just off the dome. This is $340 with one review, and it was 5 stars. Whoever you are, I need to meet you. I need to meet you and I need to question all of your choices. This one is truly, truly hideous. And I'm sorry, we have a copyright down. No one's copywriting this. And you know what's my favorite part? This is my favorite part, you guys. Look what happens when they increase, they give it on like a queen or a king or a twin or a toddler, like a toddler bed. Look what happens. Okay, 2 things. Number 1, why is this toddler like for kids, like toddler sized? Because if it is, that's amazing. And if you're a parent that puts this on your kid's bed, we need to be friends. We need to be friends. We need to have a conversation. We need to talk because that's pretty funny. The next thing is it doesn't matter the size. They don't have a vector file for this little image and they just stretch it out or shrink it depending on the size of the sheet set. I love it. They just take the king and they just stretch it outward. They take the twin and they just stretch it upward. Like I love that. The queen looks like the actual size. Everything else is just, no one even had the time or the patience to actually do it right. And I appreciate that in a lazy graphic designer. Okay, next on my list is going to be this solid wood coffee table that is from the All Modern collection, which is one of the Wayfair brands. Listen, this one is cute. We talked about coffee tables earlier and we talked about circulation, right? With the round, the curves. Not only have curves been trendy for a while now, honestly for longer than I've been on YouTube. For like 6 years now, they've been pretty much everywhere. And I think the curves are great. I think curves are timeless. I would argue that curves really usually come down more to circulation and whether or not it makes sense for the space that you're in, right? Sometimes a square or rectangle is really awesome. Sometimes a curve makes sense. In a coffee table, it's really nice, especially because people are a lot less likely to bang their shins on those sharp corners and maybe more kid-friendly. You know, I don't really care for children, so I'm not really sure, but probably. And I just imagine them running around and hurting themselves, you know, and you know me, I'm always caring about the children and that's what I'm here for. So I'm always looking out for that. But it is just great for circulation. It's easier for people to get around and easier to sort of place in the center of a room, especially if you've got a couple of couches or a sectional or side chairs where a lot of stuff's going on there. It's just easier to work with when you got some curves. This one's a nice one. It's a natural wood, you know, it's very simple, very Scandi. The oak is very popular, so it'll coordinate with a lot of your other furniture pieces. And for that reason, I think it works quite well. It's $9.50, which is a pretty good price for a coffee table. Again, if you're looking at IKEA, you're probably going to be paying about half that maybe, but something like the Stockholm might make sense. But if you're going to, you know, even if you're going to step up into like West Elmer Article or something, you're probably going to be paying more than this. So I think it's a good price for a simple little coffee table. Okay, next one, this one is this levitating thing that is lit up. Now, I gotta be fair, because sometimes when I do these buy this, not that, people obviously have a criticism of me, which is super, super fair, which is that I like to compare really expensive things and then compare them to cheap crap and then say, look, which one's better? And that is 100% a fair criticism and I have no response for it. And I'm not gonna stop that here right now because this is $124 and it looks it. Here's my biggest problem with this one. Why does it light up? I don't know if this needs to be plugged in. Is this a coffee table that is battery operated? I have no idea. Deco laminate design is stone. Ooh, not good. Integrated technology, yes. Ooh, not good in coffee table. Do you know what I mean? Like these are not ticking my boxes. Top material, manufactured wood. Base material, manufactured wood. Extendable, no. Like literally they're answering, top color, gray. They're answering every single question in their description, what I don't want it to be. And the result is of course a very, very ugly coffee table. Is it the right price being $124? No, because honestly, it's gonna be trashed in 6 months and you're gonna have to get rid of it. And honestly, getting rid of it is gonna be more annoying than the $124 $124, to be honest with you. I don't think this one's a good one. I don't know. Again, do you have to plug it in? I have so many questions. Or is it just blue? Maybe it's not even lit up. No, it looks lit up. It looks lit up. You don't need your coffee table to light up. The coffee table should just be the coffee table. That's what you have lamps for. That's what you have the light in the freaking ceiling for. That's why you have the floor lamps and the table lamps and all the things. The candles. Remember those like little portable lights? Like we got lots of different ways we can get more interesting light. You don't need your coffee table to light up. You can quote me on that one. Nicklewis, your coffee table shouldn't light up. Okay, next up is this. This is a fine looking accent chair. Do I think it's like, yeah, I think it's cute. I think it's cute. I think it's a fine little accent chair. It's got a nice curved back to it. I liked curved side chairs. Not only are they generally like quite ergonomic, which is nice when you're sitting there, but also it's good for like space, like as you're moving throughout. A nice curved back as opposed to something that's a little more boxy. It just generally, I think, works really well for circulation. Round in general is better for circulation, whether that's going to be like a round dining table, or a coffee table, or yes, also a side chair. So I think this one is cute. It might not be the most thrilling side chair I've ever seen in my entire life, but you know, that's not everybody's necessarily looking for some architectural designer piece, right? Sometimes you just want a really cute, simple, round, curvy little brown side chair that makes sense, and this one's really cute. And how much is this? What is this going for? $12.60. Seems a bit pricey, but overall, not bad, I think, for an armchair. I mean, I say that, but honestly, if this were at Crate and Barrel, it'd be $2,000. Would it necessarily be this one? I don't know, but still, point is, I think it's a cute one for the price. Okay, next on we have this patchwork quilt mess. Listen, if you were to have DIY'd this, if you dared to, first of all, I would say, maybe we could have just chosen less fabrics. Maybe we didn't need this many. Maybe we could have just circled back and edited a little bit before we just stitched all this together. I think you could have gone with 1 or 2 fabrics and it would have also been lovely. 3, and I would have told you, this is, you're pushing the limits and this has gone too far. But once you've got into like 9 different fabrics, which is what's happening here, it's a hot mess and it doesn't make any sense. And it's gonna be really, really difficult to integrate into the rest of your space. Listen, I love how they also, like in their images, have it in like this beautiful Scandi space. They've got like a beautiful little side, like not, honestly, their side table is basically the same as mine. Like, you know what I mean? Like they've got lots like blonde woods and white thing, and it's a cute little cream carpet. And like everything's really Scandi minimalist. And then all of a sudden they were like, hey, look at this ugly thing. Why don't we put this in the center? Oh, and she comes in purple. I think that the purple is also ugly, but I will say that it's better than the first one. That's the highest compliment I'm prepared to give it. Okay, so let's move on. Okay, next on my list is going to be this cute side table. Now, this thing is 200 pounds. She's big, okay, so it's quite heavy, but it's $169. And I think Wayfair usually, when it comes to shipping, is usually really good. By the way, the return policy is really good. I don't know if you guys have ever found this. Maybe this is just like, I don't know if this is still the case, but one time I bought something and it was a little bit damaged and they just sent me another one. And I was like, okay, cool, but I don't really need a second one. So to Facebook Marketplace she goes. So like, you know, this is like the type of thing that can get really expensive and really difficult if you're shipping, but honestly, if you're getting it from Wayfair, it's probably fine. This is 200 pounds. The table color is travertine. It's not really a color, that's a material. And then they said frame material they have as concrete. So sometimes, because you know me, I'm a sucker for the materials, like let's dive deep and figure out what's actually happening here. Is this one made of concrete? Is this one made of travertine? Your guess is as good as mine based on this. I'm going to, no, it says it's concrete. It's covered. It's you know what it is? It's concrete that's got some pockmarks in it, so they're kind of fauxing it as travertine, which normally I wouldn't be necessarily a massive fan of, but I think, you know, they've got it here for an outdoor application, so it's like a side chair, and it's probably gonna be a lot more durable, and it's probably gonna make a lot more sense if it's sitting in the rain and the snow and the blah, blah, blah. For like $169, probably, you know, this is a much cheaper, easier version. But don't kid yourself into thinking you're getting actual travertine. The color is travertine, whatever that means. That's not a color, but you know, we're working with what we need to for that price point. So I think overall, this is pretty good for that price point, especially for outdoor use, where it's probably just gonna make more sense to use something like concrete. Okay, and that, we have this Astronaut who just is coming from a cloud. This looks like an AI image that someone came up with and put on Facebook. Do you know what I mean? That's what this looks like to me. This feels a little bit like the AI photography, and I'm not sure it's actually a real item. They have the gall to charge $200 for this, and it's also got 166 reviews with 4.7 stars. I have a lot of questions for those of you that are out there. If you are one of those people, please comment below, because I would like to have a conversation with you. Listen, I think that this has one use case, and that is a kid's room. If your kid is really into space, then maybe this makes sense to throw two very like impractical objects. Like these are not actually even all that great for storage because really this is an astronaut's helmet. So it's not really as practical as a side table, like an actual real side table, like what we just saw. So this one for me doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but it's quirky and it's gimmicky. And if you've got a kid's space themed whatever bedroom, then this might make sense. I like how the table base type is called Figurine. It's not even pretending like it's anything else. It's just like, hey, this is a quirky, weird thing. Because if you're an adult, not a child, if you're a child, you can do what you want because you don't really have any taste, so that's fine. But if you're like a real adult, then I'm generally moving, I don't personally advise that you go themey. I don't think that themey is the right answer, but if you are a themey person, then perhaps it makes sense to work into your space theme, in which case that's fine for that very particular use case. But since this is my channel, not yours, I'm gonna make it up as I go. I'm just gonna call this a not that and move on. Okay, next up is this one. This is a really simple flush mount. It's 128 bucks. It's like this terracotta orange. This is part of Joss & Main. So the way Wayfair works is, if you didn't know, they got a lot of little brands that they own. It's like the Kirkland signature for Costco. You know what I mean? Like they got their own little house brands, and they got a bunch of them that are all kind of different styles. So like Joss & Main is a little modern, but she's a little country. All modern is right in the name. It's modern, right? So you've got different sort of brands and they all kind of have their own thing. I typically am kind of like the same brands over and over again because they're more the style that I particularly like. Joss & Main's not bad. I find Joss & Main to be a little bit hit or miss in the style department, but this one is cute. She's fluted, a few years too late. Fluted was a little bit, I mentioned, not that fluted's bad, I think it's fine, but I do think that Wayfair tries to jump in on the trends, but they're always hilariously 3 years behind. So this one is cute. They got some AI images here to show you what it could look like in a theoretical space, and that's fine. Comes in white, comes in terracotta. I think it's a cute little, it's better than a boob light, right? Which is why it made this list. Better than a boob light. It is a fun little light. I think especially if you like to add a little bit of color into your space, if you're liking the sort of earthy tones, I think this could be a solid choice. Okay, but not that. It's gonna have to be this thing. It's a little drummer boy light that goes in the ceiling, but this one has exposed bulbs. And again, you wanna talk about behind the times. Feels like it's 2011. I'm at a burger place. It's like a pub. Everything's reclaimed wood, exposed light bulbs everywhere. You know what I mean? Like this is I'm in some really uncomfortable backless stool. I'm thinking that's where I'm at in order to be able, and this fixture is for sure right there because, you know, you got to have the exposed Edison bulbs because we were huge on those back in 2011 in the millennial burger joint that we all loved. But listen, this one, it's in a shape of a drum, which is cute. I don't know if that's intentional or just accidental, but it is. Rope is not always an easy material to pull off in a light fixture, and sure enough, it didn't work here. They didn't pull it off. I don't love exposed bulbs like I mentioned before. I think there are just better ways to diffuse light than nothing, and that's really the problem with this one. Well, it's actually one of the many problems with this one. Honestly, the exposed light's the least of its problems, but it's not helping. That's kind of what I'm saying. Okay, and then next on my list is gonna be this, and that is going to be this coffee. Well, okay, I thought it was a coffee table and I was really excited because it was solid stone for 300 bucks. And I was like, can I buy 10 and just start turning these over on Marketplace? It's a tray. Don't be confused like I was. Okay, I thought it was a coffee table for 300 bucks and I was like, buy this now. Unfortunately, it is a tray and it's still cute. And for 300 bucks, it's like probably the right price, I guess, for like a fairly exotic looking stone. I love this stone. I think it's called, I actually have a couple of things from it. I got like that little prismy thingy that I have back, obelisk, dare I say, from CB2. It's like that woody, so sort of, I just love it. That's why I bought it, because I just love the stone. It's like that wood texture sort of stony thing, and I just think it's so, so cool, and that's what they're using here. It is a natural stone. It is in a cute little tray. It looks like those really trendy coffee tables that are everywhere, but just shrunk down, and for that, it makes sense. For $300, I don't think it's a screaming good deal, I'll be honest with you. Like I have like a couple of trays from Eternity Modern that were super, super, super cute. Those ones are great. There's lots of little trays out there, but if you're shopping compared to say like Montana LaBelle or something, like any of these really like fine, beautiful marble accessory places, honestly, this price isn't actually crazy, even compared to CB2, which I think for a mainstream retailer has some of the best marble decor out there. This feels pretty comparable. So I would say this one's a cute one. But unfortunately, with every this comes a not that, my friends, and that is gonna have to be this melting $995 figurine and sculpture that is off the side of your open shelving. Oh, this is unfortunate. This is unfortunate, I feel like, because someone spent 1,000 hard-earned dollars, like dollar bills, y'all. They could have spent that $1,000 and so many other things. They could have bought themselves a new iPhone. They could have bought them, think of the cool things, the cute things they could have bought for themselves, but instead they're stuck with this. Honestly, if you bought this, you're gonna regret it in a week and you're gonna put it on Marketplace, and I guarantee you put it up for 50 bucks and you will not sell it. Like, this one's not great. It's $995. I'm sorry to the company that sells this. Who are you? Eichholtz, whatever you are. This one's not good. This one is back to the old drawing board. Listen, maybe it's very style specific. Maybe you're a person who loves melty gold decor, or you just love gold, brassy, ugly everything, in which case this might be a great product for you. But for everybody else, I think this is gonna be a pass, and I would instead recommend you get that little coffee table marble tray thing or whatever instead. Okay, so that's it for me, guys. I hope you really enjoyed this video. I'm gonna link here to the next one where I probably also will be making fun of some stuff. So I hope you enjoyed that video, and I will see you all in the next one. Thanks a lot. Bye.